Yeah, the title. If Shawn James looked like Cam Newton, I'm gonna get to what that really means as we go. But he was on Obsidian Radio, and they came at him with ad hominem attacks. Well, first of all, it started when he said that people, black men that have passports, shouldn't be traveling outside the country to gain access to women. And he had to know that people were going to critique his lifestyle and look at him and how he's living. And the fact that he said he's only been to Washington D.C. and North Carolina. That's not extensive travel, and you don't need a passport to go those places. And he's, by his own admission, he's been without a job for 20 something years, still lives at home with his parents. It's like, how could you not think that the brothers that have the resources and the passports and the ability to travel ain't gonna look at him and be like, yo, who is he to tell me that I can't travel outside the country when he can't travel outside the country if he wants to? Like me personally, I have a passport, and I'm gonna just name the places I've been to let everybody know that I'm qualified as a person who's traveled. I wouldn't say extensively, but I've been some places. I've been to Toronto, Canada, Niagara Falls. I'm actually in Maine right now. I've been to Buffalo, New York, Boston, Massachusetts, New York City, Philadelphia. I don't really count Philly as going anywhere, same as Baltimore, even though I've been there. I mean, I'm right in Delaware. Baltimore is what? An hour away, and Philly is 30 minutes away, so that I don't count that really, but I've been there. DC, Richmond, Colonial Williamsburg, North Carolina, all throughout Tobacco Road. What is that? Raleigh, Durham, all those places. Been to Myrtle Beach. I've been to Florida. I've been to Orlando, Florida, Tampa Bay, Jacksonville, Miami, Pensacola. Been to New Orleans. I've been to Dallas. I went and saw a Cowboys football game back in '95. It was actually Deion Sanders' first game with the Cowboys. I saw Deion Sanders, Jerry Rice, Troy Aikman. Steve Young didn't play. Elvis Grbac played. Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin. So, and I also went to that plaza in D.C. where Kennedy was shot. See, I'm a museum type nigga, as opposed to going to a nightclub. And that's the thing. Shawn James want to talk about brothers that go to museums, nondescript black men need to still try to go after these ratchet black women or these quote unquote educated AKA type black bitches or witches, whatever you want to call them. No, black women don't want no nondescript black dude. They might take a nondescript white dude to get that mixed baby, but they're not gonna go after because women naturally want attention. So why are you gonna be with a dude who's not gonna garner no attention for you for being with him? Like, my biggest fan base is a mulatto chick because they're black, or they're mulatto, but they claim that they're black for the most part. Society does. But the white in them allows them to present themselves in a nondescript way. I can tell immediately, no black woman wants to be nondescript, period. Really, no woman, but I think mulatto chicks accept that as their fate. Because if I see a mulatto chick, like coming up here, I've seen a lot of mulatto girls with white girls. It'd be like three of them, be two white girls and a mulatto chick. The mulatto chick be looking at me. And don't let me open my mouth and start talking, because then they really get drawn into that shit. And I'm talking young ones. I ain't talking middle-aged ones. So if I had to have a list, I'd have to say mulatto chicks are probably top. Then I would have an Afro-Latino. I'm not looking at black women no more. I just ain't. Y'all don't attract me no more. Y'all got too much ratchetness, and y'all got just too many issues to where y'all don't want me. So why the fuck am I gonna look at y'all even once now? But like I said, mulatto chicks, Afro Latino chicks, then I'd say Asian. And if there's a list, there's got to be somebody last on my list, and that'd have to be white girls. And Indian chicks, I'm not feeling them at all. So getting back to where I've been to Atlanta. When I was in Atlanta, I did more museum shit. Martin Luther King Museum, Las Vegas. Now that was kind of a waste. I went to Las Vegas 10 times, but I haven't been to, Louisville, Kentucky. I want to go to the Muhammad Ali Museum. I'm going to do that soon, whenever I get around to it. I haven't been to St. Louis. I wanted to see Chuck Berry sing that song that he sings, but he's dead now, so I didn't get there. I didn't get to do that. I haven't been to San Francisco. I haven't been to Seattle. I haven't been to Denver. I haven't been to Chicago. I haven't been to Milwaukee. I haven't been to Indianapolis. I haven't been to Portland, Oregon. So those 9 cities I could have substituted for the other 9 times I went to Las Vegas. So that was a waste. But I've been places. I've been to San Diego. I've been to LA. I've been to Jamaica. I've been to Paris. I went to the Louvre Museum. So that if you a museum nigga, you definitely know you've been to the Louvre if you a museum nigga. I've been to Amsterdam and I've been to the Bahamas. So I've got experience. Going back to Pittsburgh, no, Paris. When I went to Paris, see, if you don't know the culture, I got pickpocketed because I wasn't knowing to look out for shit like that. People bumping into me on the subway, and I'm like, and then so I go to pay for my first meal. I grab my wallet, that shit gone. So my Europe trip was basically fucked because I didn't have no money. Luckily, I went with a group, and my sister was in the group, but I felt like a little kid. Every time I wanted something to eat, I had to ask her. She'd give me something, I guess, just to eat so I wouldn't lose no more money. And I finally got Capital One, which reminds me, when I'm done paying my Capital One account off totally, I'm changing from them because they were not trying to work with me. I'm over in Europe and been with them 20 years and they weren't doing anything to try to make sure that my stay was a little bit more comfortable because they got some money to me. I got money the last day I was in Amsterdam and I didn't even go to a red light district. I'm not out trying to get pussy traveling the world for that. Now, if he wants to say that the dudes don't need to be traveling just to go to bars and to get drunk and to get some easy ass, I feel him on that. But if he's saying you can't travel the world, and if you come across a woman that is attractive and attracted to you, if you can't go for yours, fuck that. When I was out front of the Eiffel Tower talking to this girl, it was a white girl from London, and she just kept saying, damn, you look good for 42. Because she was like 30. She just kept saying it over and over. You look good for 42 with that British accent. And the funny part about it is the rest of the people that were with my group, they were black people. They were like, yo, I never seen you open up to a female like that. I was like, because you black bitches ain't feeling me, so I don't waste my time fucking with y'all. Period. But getting back to the travel and Shawn James, basically kind of running scared, deleting his videos that he had about it. No, stand strong in your conviction. But he wants to say the reason why he hasn't traveled is because he don't have the resources. He needs to work on getting the resources. Because if he was to somehow travel to Japan, he likes comic books and he writes comic books. I don't read comic books. I never read comic books. I'm just not into that fantasy world. The only thing that I liked growing up that was fantasy was Star Wars, the original trilogy. I didn't like Star Trek. I didn't like anything but Star Wars, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Boba Fett. That's it. I ain't had the imagination growing up for nothing else other than that. So he likes comic books. So he's a writer. He needs to try to get into that anime or whatever it is because the American comic book industry is going downhill. I don't even look at those dumbass Iron Man movies and shit. I don't waste my time with that shit. But anyway, so he would benefit from having a passport so he could see more of the world. I mean, you got to see what's out here to even know, especially me being from small ass Delaware. If I ain't traveled, I wouldn't know anything. I mean, go west of the Mississippi. I really only count the traveling that I did if I went west of the Mississippi or off the Western Hemisphere or in another time zone. Yeah, okay. So I really haven't done all that much traveling, but I'm qualified enough to talk about traveling because I've been places. And as far as like women, like he's got a book, Shawn James, how you don't need finance to get romance. Well, where's his woman at? If you don't need it, you know what I'm saying? That's his excuse for not having a woman. I don't have my resources together. Well, get them together. But you wrote a book saying you don't need finance to get romance. You wrote that book, Shawn. Nobody else wrote it. So why are you sitting here saying that you can't do because you don't have resources, but you've written a book saying you don't need resources to get a woman, which is bullshit. I wouldn't even read that book because that anybody telling you don't need money out here to get a woman is full of shit. But, you know, deleting your videos and taking shit down and wanting to blame them, saying that they're going after ad hominem attacks, what do you expect them to do? They're gonna look at you. They see that's the thing. Now getting back to what if he looked like Cam Newton, they wouldn't care about they wouldn't care about his lifestyle and stuff like that. You know, sometimes the Lord makes the messenger appear in a way to where you won't want to listen to him, to where you don't get the message. But if he looked like Cam Newton, people would be listening to him. He doesn't look like Cam Newton. Neither do I. But nobody's going to look at me and say, he doesn't have the physicality to attract a woman. No, ain't nobody going to say that shit about me. But anyway, yeah, that's the gist of the whole thing. He shouldn't be telling people that have the resources not to travel. But he can say to them, I can say to them, and I'm saying it, y'all shouldn't be going overseas to try to score with a woman and not being over there to enjoy the food, the culture, and the tourist attractions that are over in these countries. That's what I'm saying. Again, hit the like button.